Have you ever told a little white lie? Maybe you said, "I'm fine," when you weren't fine. Or maybe you blamed the dog for something you've done. But that's a funny question. Did early people tell lies? Thousands of years before cell phones, before you start writing, before civilization. Were our ancestors already cheating each other? And if they were, is lying a reason humanity survived? Some scientists believe that the lie is virtually as old as man, and one famous untruth from ancient times might have affected history forever. You may first consider that lying is a matter only for humans. But, shockingly, animals do it as well. Some birds pretend to find food in one place, then stash it somewhere else. Sometimes monkeys use false alarms to frighten away other monkeys from food. Some fish will even act innocent before they attack. Deception existed long before humans, but animals rarely have what the ancient humans had. Language is complicated, and language counted for everything. Because once you can tell stories, you can also lie. But the worrying part is this: and the more humans learn to communicate, the easier we could fool each other. And that was a significant problem. How do you trust someone who may be lying? The usual size of a band of early humans was 20 to 50. They all knew one another. If someone always lied, people watched it, and it had serious implications. You may lose confidence. You can lose pals. In the worst situations, you could even be thrown out of the organization. And in the old days, to be alone was perilous. Survival got a lot harder without your group, so most lies were likely modest. Perhaps someone thought he was a better hunter than he was. Maybe they said they saw more animals than they actually saw, or they accused somebody else for food that was stolen. But the great lies were dangerous, because the people around you knew what you were like. In today's world, one can move to another city. You can change yourself. Early humans could not. Their reputation haunted them every day. Anthropologists think reputation became one of humanity's most prized possessions. A hunter with integrity was supported. Trustworthy individuals found partners more easily. Those fed those they believed in, which meant honesty itself became a survival technique. But people are smart, and bright individuals occasionally learn to distort the truth. And then humans found something incredibly strong, something other than brawn, more powerful than weaponry: stories. And stories could unify people, or monkey with them. Humans recounted stories around campfires since ancient times. Stories educated the children. The stories were the history. Stories warned of danger for tribes. But stories were sometimes subject to embellishment. Now think about returning from a hunt. Instead of saying, "We saw wolves, 2 wolves," someone says, "We've fought 10 great wolves." That person suddenly sounds brave, more awesomer. More importantly, the researchers believe stories inherently draw attention, and thus humans exaggerate them. And when the exaggeration starts, the border between the reality and fantasy becomes blurred. Because people lied, others become better at recognizing lies. Humans have developed impressive social skills. We examine faces. We are paying attention to tone of voice. We remember past actions. We talk smack. And shockingly, gossip may have saved civilization. When someone cheated or lied, word spread. That shielded the group. Gossip was like the social media of old, in a manner. Just no smartphones. But here's the kicker. Some lies may have helped people stay alive. Yes. Some lies were not bad. Imagine a hunter in pain. He fears he will not survive. A friend says to him, "You're going to be all right," even if they don't know it. Technically speaking, that isn't the whole truth, but it gives hope. Parents have always frightened and reassured children. Leaders encouraged people in calamity. Human optimism is often a tool to overcome fear. So deceit wasn't always selfish. Sometimes it reinforced cooperation. Sometimes it masked feelings. And sometimes you were brave. Some historians feel that myth and legend were also part of the exaggeration. Heroes grew larger than life. The battles grew larger. The victories were more magnificent. Not necessarily because they sought to fool themselves, but every time the story was repeated, it changed. One generation filled in the blanks. The next generation left more behind. And after hundreds of years, it was a very different event than the original. In other words, memory itself can be a sort of inadvertent untruth. So, did ancient humans cheat each other? Probably. But they also punished the fibbers. Trustworthy people get paid off and build communities of cooperation. In fact, the fight between truth and lies has been a part of human life for thousands of years. And maybe that's why this question's still important today. With all our technology, we're still fighting the same old war our forefathers fought round primitive campfires. Who do we trust? If you like this look into this weird bit of human history, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more fascinating inquiries about ancient humans. And so here's today's question. What's the largest white lie you've heard or told? Put your answer in the comments below. I watch many of them, and your stories inspire future videos so much. Until then, keep on wondering.